stand our ground,
upheld by free elections. The people's right demands our song, the right of free election. Tyler and Tippecanoe.
Now the Whigs at the coming election will carry our candidates through.
They've made the judicious selection of Tyler and Tippecanoe.
They say that he lives in a cabin and that he drinks hard cider too.
Well, what if he does? I am certain
He's the hero of Tippecanoe.
So again and again fill your glasses, bid Martin Van Buren adieu.
We'll now please ourselves and our lasses, and we'll vote for old Tippecanoe.
So let us be up and a-doing and cling to our cause brave and true.
I'll bet you a fortune we'll beat him
With Tyler and Tippecanoe.
Who never did a noble deed, who of the people took no heed, who is the worst of tyrants' breed.
Van Buren,
Who rules us with an iron rod, who moves at Satan's back and not, who heeds not man, who heeds not God.
Van Buren, Van Buren,
Who would his friends, his country sell, do other deeds too base to tell, deserves the lowest place in hell.
Van Buren. And when November comes around, who then shall hear the fateful sound? Magician, thou art wanting found. Van Buren.
Clay is a patriot through and through, and so is Frelinghuysen too. They are men of truth and candor, can't be heard by local slander.
Hurrah, hurrah, the country's rising, Henry Clay and Frelinghuysen. Hurrah, hurrah, the country's rising, Henry Clay and Frelinghuysen.
No better two names can be found, though you search the country round. More power to the clan comprising Henry Clay and Frelinghuysen.
Hurrah, hurrah, the country's rising, Henry Clay and Frelinghuysen. Hurrah, hurrah, the country's rising, Henry Clay and Frelinghuysen.
The locals rather hear us groan, but that we'll leave to them alone. With Harry Clay and Frelinghuysen, the way we'll beat 'em is sure surprising.
Hurrah, hurrah, the country's rising, Henry Clay and Frelinghuysen. Hurrah, hurrah, the country's rising, Henry Clay and Frelinghuysen. Wait for the wagon, wait for the wagon, wait for the wagon, and we'll all take a ride.
There's right and wrong in parties, and the right is on our side. So let us mount the wagon, boys, and let the nation ride.
The Union is our wagon, and the people are its springs. And every true American for Millard Fillmore sings.
Wait for the wagon, wait for the wagon, wait for the wagon, and we'll all take a ride. Wait for the wagon, wait for the wagon, wait for the wagon.
victorious wagon with the nation at his side. Through all the troubled elements our Jackson once did ride.
And now we'll keep his memory green and hail his noble name. For Andrew Jackson Donaldson a seat with us may claim.
Wait for the wagon, wait for the wagon, wait for the wagon, and we'll all take a ride. Wait for the wagon, wait for the wagon, wait for the wagon, and we'll all take a ride. Old Abe Lincoln came out of the wilderness, out of the wilderness, out of the wilderness. Old Abe Lincoln came out of the wilderness, down in Illinois. Down in Illinois, down in Illinois. Old Abe Lincoln came out of the wilderness, down in Illinois. Oh, old Abe Lincoln came out of the wilderness, out of the wilderness, out of the wilderness. Old Abe Lincoln came out of the wilderness, down in Illinois. Down in Illinois. Down in Illinois. Old Abe Lincoln came out of the wilderness, down in Illinois. Come, brothers, arouse, there is war in the land. For country and law, let us make a bold stand against action and treason from rising or might. And to crush out the wrong, we would strengthen the right. Mcclellan the soldier, Mcclellan the brave, Mcclellan the statesman our country would save. We will flock to his standards 3,000,000 times 3. And the head of our nation, Mcclellan, shall be. McClellan the soldier, McClellan the brave, McClellan the statesman our country would save. We will flock to his standards 3,000,000 times 3. The head of our nation, McClellan, shall be.
We will rally round the cause, boys will rally in our might, singing the holy cause of freemen. We will battle for our union, the sacred cause of right, singing the holy cause of freemen. For Lincoln and Johnson, huzzah, boys, huzzah! Down with rebellion and on with the war, while we rally round the cause, boys, rally in our might, singing the holy cause of freemen. To reunite the states, we have got a general grant, singing the holy cause of freemen. We are sick of cries for peace and other rebel cant, singing the holy cause of freemen. For Lincoln and Johnson, huzzah, boys, huzzah! Down with rebellion and on with the war, while we rally round the cause, boys, rally in our might, singing the holy cause of freemen.
Donaldson, the rebel horde, had gathered in their might, determined there with fire and sword to make a dreadful fight. But gallant Foot with his command went in by water route, while Grant besieged upon the land and smoked the rebels out.
Where volley thundered loudest peal along the front of war, the general calmly viewed the field, a-smoking his cigar.
And now let politicians wait, there's work for men to do. We'll place one in the chair of state who wears the army blue. The people know just what they want, less talk and no more war. For President Ulysses Grant, a-smoking his cigar.
Where volley thundered loudest peal along the front of war, the general calmly viewed the field, a-smoking his cigar.
Heard on every tongue, white as haze, haze as haze, on every breeze his praise is sung, and the country's all ablaze. We'll send him right to Washington in a few days, in a few days. We'll send him right to Washington, Tilden stay at home. This one thing we're fully bent in a few days, we'll duly elect our president, the chosen gallant Hayes. We'll send him right to Washington in a few days, we'll send him right to Washington, Tilden stay at home.
Day, we'll floor poor Mary Blaine. Then farewell, farewell, poor Mary Blaine. For up Salt River you will go, and you won't come back again. For president he's run, the pride and joy of Maine. But on the next election day, we'll floor poor Mary Blaine. Then farewell, poor Mary Blaine. For up Salt River you will go, and you won't come back again.
Father's hat is too big for his head, but Ben tries it on just the same. It fits him too quick, which has oft times been said with regard to his grandfather's fame. It was bought long ago, and it made a pretty show in that jolly hard cider campaign. But it don't fit even a little bit on Benjamin Harrison's brain.
Things are wearing a warm complexion, but McKinley is going to win.
He'll be the hero of this election. The way he'll beat 'em will be a sin.
He will smash 'em to such perfection, they can never get up again.
Mac and Teddy are going to win this political fight, and that is right.
Cause the questions that now are pending and are causing contortions of the brain
Can only be settled by a cool-headed man like Mac.
William Bryan's campaign is ending. We'll have no Democrat to reign.
For you know that good times is something they always lack, and that's a fact.
But there's no use of our going round it. Bill McKinley's the winning thing. And it's certainly too amusing to see those Demis are trying to sing.
And when everything is excitement and that good old election's done, and we've counted the votes for Mac and Teddy, we'll have victory 10-1. Oh, there'll then be a grand procession and cake walking to beat the band. Such parading with torchlights blazing, hailing good times for Uncle Sam. And whenever I meet a Demi, I don't care if he kills me dead, I'll yell hooray for Bill McKinley and the brave Rough Rider Ted.
The call throughout the land, come and proudly take your stand. Now uphold your chieftain's hand.
Roosevelt the cry. Blow the bugle, beat the drum. From the north and south they come.
From the east and west they come.
Roosevelt the cry. Lincoln's name, McKinley's too. They traduced and would anew. Trust them, I will not, will you? Roosevelt the cry. Let the Democrat named Hill all his evil venom spill, yet he'll taste a bitter pill. Roosevelt the cry.
History shall write his name on the immortal scroll of fame. Then shall all his deeds proclaim.
Roosevelt the cry. Roosevelt the soldier true. Roosevelt the statesman too.
Sane for me and safe for you.
Roosevelt the cry. Roosevelt the cry. Roosevelt the cry. Roosevelt the cry.
The time has come, the fight is on, we pick the man to run. A second term we're standing firm for Ohio's worthy son. The man we need, the man to lead a strong and mighty craft. Through storm and sea to victory is William Howard Taft. Get on the raft with Taft, boys, get in the winning boat. The man worthwhile with the big red smile will get the honest vote. He'll save the country sure, boys, from every kind of graft. So all join in, we're sure to win. Get on the raft with Taft. Kind of graft. So all join in, we're sure to win. Get on the raft. Get on the raft. Get on the raft with Taft.
Now convention days are over and election time is near. From east to west, from north to south, there's just one name in every mouth. When a fella meets a fella and he says to him, "What's yours?" he says, "I think I'll have to drink for the Democratic cause."
Wilson, that's all.
a quaint New England farmhouse on an early summer's day, a farmer's boy became our chief in a homely, simple way. With neither pomp nor pageantry, he firmly met the task. To keep him on that job of his is all the people ask. That's all they ask. So keep cool and keep Coolidge is the slogan of today. Keep cool and keep Coolidge for the good old USA. Hooray! A lot of politicians cannot do a thing but knock. But Calvin Coolidge is the man of action and not talk. So just keep cool and keep Coolidge in the White House 4 years more. We have a chance to do it in this year of 24. He's been trying, he's never wanting, he is giving of his best. Keep cool and keep Coolidge is our country's mighty test.
Charles Lindbergh flew his plane all the way to France, most of the way by the seat of his pants. Good old American know how that's the right way to be, and if he's good enough for Lindy, he's good enough for me. If he's good enough for Lindy, he's good enough for me. If he's good enough for Lindy, he's good enough for me. If he's good enough for Lindy, he's good enough for me. Herbert Hoover is the only man to be our nation's chief. You remember Hoover back in the war, saved us from the Kaiser, now he'll give us something more. He'll serve as the president of the land of the free. If he's good enough for Lindy, he's good enough for me. If he's good enough for Lindy, he's good enough for me. If he's good enough for Lindy, he's good enough for me. If he's good enough for Lindy, he's good enough for me. Herbert Hoover is the only man to be our nation's chief.
Come on and row, row, row with Roosevelt on the good ship USA. Sail with Franklin D to victory and to real prosperity. He's honest, he's strong, and he's steady. A chip off the block that gave us Teddy. Come on and row, row, row with Roosevelt on the good ship USA. He's honest, he's strong, and he's steady. A chip off the block that gave us Teddy. Come on and row, row, row with Roosevelt on the good ship USA.
I like Ike, I shout it over a mic or a phone from the highest steeple. I like Ike, and Ike is easy to like. Stands alone, the choice of all the people.
A leader we can call without political noise. He will lead us all as he led the boys.
Let's take Ike.
A man we all of us like.
Makes no deals, his favor can't be curried.
And Uncle Joe is worried, 'cause we like Ike.
take Ike,
a man we all of us like.
makes no deals, his favor can't be curried.
And Uncle Joe is worried, 'cause we like Ike. I'm walking down to Washington to shake hands with President Kennedy. Walking down to Washington like we used to do. I'm walking down to Washington to shake hands with Lyndon Johnson. Walking down to Washington like we used to do. With Kennedy and Johnson, how great that day will be. We'll be in Washington, D.C., dancing at the President's Jubilee. I'm walking down to Washington